Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this is my review of the 1985 film King Solomon's Mines. And apparently it had a sequel about the Lost City of Gold, which I haven't seen, but from what I've been told, it's just like this first film, only worse. Yeah. Anyway, King Solomon's Mines and Quatermain and the Lost City of Gold were made together, back to back. When I found that out, that kind of explains a lot. That's why everything looks so rushed and quick. Yes, yeah, okay. Anyway, start at the beginning. King Solomon's Mines was a book written by H. Rider Haggard around about the year 1910, and as the title suggests, it's about the legendary King Solomon's Mines. Now, nobody knows for certain if these mines even exist. The rumour about them came about because King Solomon was getting more rich and more powerful. Where was he getting all this money from? Some say there were gold mines, or diamond mines, and they were in a secret location. But if they exist, nobody knows for certain, and if they do, it's clearly a big secret, Anyway, in 1950, there was a film of King Solomon's Mines. It was a big blockbuster, big hit, yeah. Whereas in 1985, this one's very different, yes. You see, Quatermain, the hero of the story, he was a big influence on Indiana Jones. But the difference being, of course, not as much action, yeah. Well, when the 1985 film came out of King Solomon's Mines, yes, there'd just been 2 Indiana Jones films, so they thought, yes, we'll have to make it like Indiana Jones, we'll have to modernise the story, and action. Loads more action than in the original film, yeah. Now, some might say, King Solomon's Mines, it's silly, it's a blatant rip-off of Indiana Jones, the style, the one-liners, the silly slapstick and action. But you know what? I like it. I loved it. It's interesting seeing Indiana Jones from a different angle, if you see what I mean, yeah. And it's a lot of fun, yeah. Yes, some bits are silly and cheesy, but if you switch your brain off for an hour and a half, or is it an hour, 2 hours or something? Well, anyway, if you switch your brain off for a time, and then just pretend you're about 11 years old again, you can enjoy it. It is lots and lots of fun, yeah. And, well, in the original story, Quatermain, he's like an expert hunter in the jungle, and his mission is to help this woman find her husband, who went looking for King Solomon's Mines. And lots of obstacles get in the way on the journey, and then eventually they find him, but sadly he's already dead. And then Quatermain gets on with the leading lady. In this version, no, the leading lady isn't married, no. So she gets on with Quatermain much sooner, yeah. And Richard Chamberlain plays Quatermain, and a very young Sharon Stone plays a character called Jessie in this film, yeah, in the 1985 one. And, well, she's very gawky, awkward and annoying, clearly not used to adventure. Very like the blonde lady Willie Scott in Temple of Doom. Only more annoying and more accident-prone, if that's even possible, yes. But then they're just copying what they've done, yeah. In fact, when I was a little boy, I thought it was a bit silly that the enemies were Germans, because that's too similar to Indiana Jones. Not Nazis, no, but, yeah, Germans from around about the year 1910, yeah. Something about a colony of Germany and Africa, and that's what the fighting's all about, and they want to get the diamonds from King Solomon's Mines to finance their war effort, or something like that. But I thought that was a bit silly, bad guys being Germans. They could have made them something a bit to make it different to Indiana Jones. However, as a grown-up, I've noticed that, no, they didn't stop there. They copied lots more stuff off Indiana Jones. For a start, the booby traps, or the entrance to King Solomon's Mines, the bit when they want to burn the leading lady in a volcanic bit of volcanic lava. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea from, and just everything, yeah. But I guess they just thought that's what the people are going to want, yeah. But it is silly and cheesy, but it's fun. It's a good feel-good factor film, King Solomon's Mines, yeah. Oh, and John Rhys Davies, who's most famous for playing Salah in Raiders of the Lost Ark, he is in this film. Except, of course, he plays a baddie. He plays a Turkish baddie that's helping the Germans. So, yes, they're not hiding the fact they're copying Indiana Jones, not in the least, yeah. And, but, in a way, there are some things that make it a bit better than Indiana Jones. Well, I suppose I just have to say it. I love the Indiana Jones film. Loved them since I was a kid. But he never gets loot from the deal. In the first Indiana Jones film, he's looking for the Lost Ark. Yes, he does find it, but doesn't get to make any money out of it. Then he goes for the Shankara stones. Doesn't get to sell them for lots of money. Finds the Holy Grail. He can't sell it for lots of money. In the fourth film, he doesn't get loot from the deal. He never gets lots of money from the deal. Well, in this film, King Solomon's Mines, Quatermain and Jesse both get a big diamond out of it. So yes, they both get something out of the adventure, yeah. And do they use them to sell them for lots of money or keep them as souvenirs? Well, you figure it out. Or you could just see the sequel to answer that question, which I haven't done yet, yeah. Anyway, and as I said, I loved King Solomon's Mines when I was about 11. I just had one big gripe about it. There's one scene where a baddie gets eaten by a giant spider in a cave. And I was like, no, you can't do that, no. What's a giant spider doing here? That's silly. This is in the real world. It's not a fairy tale in the fantasy world. When a story takes place in the real world, I expect to see animals that exist in the real world. It's very inconsistent, you know. I mean, can you imagine an Indiana Jones film with a giant spider? Or can you imagine an Indiana Jones film with creepy aliens in it? Oh no, they've already done that, haven't they? Okay, but yes, you have to have some consistency in the story, yeah. Oh yes, and there's a bit when Quatermain, upside down, tied by his legs, his hands are tied up, he's about to be fed to crocodiles. How is he going to get out of this one? He wriggles a lot, does a Houdini, and wriggles his hands free. Indiana Jones did that 4 years later in The Last Crusade, wriggled his hands free out of some ropes. So, yeah, you could say Indiana Jones was effectively copying this, so the wheels come full circle. We copied you, then you copied us. Yeah, like that, yeah. And the acting is very cheesy, very silly, yeah. But then I thought, well, is it because they're bad actors? I thought, well, no, because it stars Richard Chamberlain. He's a great actor, you know, so why is he doing bad acting? And I thought, well, either it's bad actors or bad directing. And I should imagine, yes, the director told them to behave like this, yeah. So that's why the acting looked quite cheesy, yeah. But I'll say this, though. There is one scene where one baddie has a gun pointed at his nose, and they question him, where did you take that man away? He goes, I can't remember. Oh, yes, I remember. It's all coming back to me now. And how Richard Chamberlain can keep a straight face while someone's talking like that is quite beyond me. So that is good acting. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Okay, so, King Solomon's Mines, oh yes, and Jerry Goldsmith, yes, he does deliver, he gives cracking music, he is brilliant as always, yeah. So in other words, it's not all bad, yes, it's cheesy as hell, but it is a lot of fun, and it does have some good moments as well, yeah. So, and if you want to see, a story that's not Indiana Jones, but the next best thing, yeah, then you will enjoy it, yeah. Oh, and they do take a lot of liberties, as I said, with the original story, but one thing that does remain consistent, Umbopo, the African guy that's helping Quatermain, he reveals himself to be the rightful ruler of that tribe, yeah, with the royal birthmark and stuff, yeah. But apart from that, it's like a totally different story. You probably wouldn't recognise it. If you're expecting it to be the same as the 50s film, you're going to be disappointed, yeah. Okay, but in spite of these gripes and stuff, it is a lot of fun to watch. Okay, well, if you haven't seen it, if you like Indiana Jones, I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.